if some things get redundant with this channel, I'm not going to apologize for this. There's no such thing as redundant when it comes to my logs being delivered. And that's what's happening today. We are in a warming trend. We are just, everything's mud, everything's underwater. Log hauler Jesse said he's got some logs. Can he bring them out? All I had to do was get some stuff moved around. I tend to leave things on the road. And here we go. So let's walk on up and let's see what log hauler Jesse brought us. It is a lonely feeling, guys, when you're in business to sell stuff and you have nothing to sell. I am kind of in a situation right now where I am squelching my sales. I'm really not taking any new customers, and pretty much all the wood that I have in stock right now is sold. So for me, it's now a matter of getting all of this wood turned into firewood. How you doing, log hauler Jesse? And getting it stacked. Here's Jesse's truck. He told me he's got 2 loads that he's bringing out today. And this is the benefit of how we got things set up here, is that I can bring in these logs. These big logs that he's moving right now, I had pulled those out because I didn't feel like messing with them at the time. And some of these I might be able to sell as a saw log. So he's just moving these down. And then I have a feeling when the next truck comes in, we'll move these logs to here and then set the next load of logs here. That real big one with the knot on it is a gigantic ash log. And that one is going to be made into firewood here. We got a little tight. This outfeed can go up and down, so I have it cranked all the way up just so that he didn't run into it. I was watching his outrigger coming off the ground. These are all coming from the same job that these came from. So these are smaller diameter. And what I'll be doing is we're gonna take the perfect split knife out of the Japa. We'll put the 4-way in, and we will knock these logs out the way the old 365 used to run. I did a number of videos in a row with the 405, and someone left a comment, you know, that hey, this is getting kind of redundant. I don't know if he meant boring, but true to, you know, the culture of this channel, this is a day in the life of a firewood delivery service, and you get runs like that where you're just knocking out firewood after day after day after day. And then there's days where it's just deliveries. And in this case here, we have a number of log trucks coming in. So there is a level of redundancy, I guess, which would lead to boredom, you know, maybe for the viewer, but also maybe for me. You know, I like variety in what I do as well. But that's just the name of the game. Sometimes the log truck comes in all the time. I don't think I'd ever get bored of the log truck coming in though. Because I know, you know, what it means to me, and I am feeling right now what, you know, the result of what didn't happen last year this time was I didn't get any logs coming in. It's just a weird thing that's happened to the market with the price of lumber. The year before was the price of lumber, so all these smaller logs were getting bought by the mills that would normally not take these because they're too small. But the price of lumber was such that they could make money off these smaller logs. That was 2 years ago. This year is the price of heating fuel. Homeowners are buying these logs up more than they've ever before, and loggers are getting top dollar for these from homeowners. And these homeowners are paying prices that I wouldn't pay, you know, because I need to make money. This weather's just been awful. Look how wet it is. And now the forecast is calling for 2 straight days of rain. We might have gotten the skidways a little bit too close, but that's no big deal. I'm not going to worry about that. That's a nice looking log. What I'm going to worry about is just getting all this wood turned into firewood. This load, I was told, is mostly maple, if not all maple. Well, we did see, I think I see another cherry log right there. And there could be some oak, but mostly maple. I have got an abundance of oak. I don't care to have any more, but I guess oak firewood is better than no firewood. It's now starting to rain on me, and Jesse is trying to beat the forecast. They're supposed to be getting big rain coming in. He said that he has a rain suit that he wears when it's a drizzly, rainy day, but you know, these driving rains is a different story. Looking good. I'm hoping right now that we don't get a drop of water on the lens, so I apologize up front. And he is done. He's putting the grapple back at its rest, lifting up the outriggers.
Funny seeing you here.
So it's starting to rain. When I think about safety with me delivering firewood, it was jumping in and out of the back of the pickup truck. Good heavens. So everything's slippery. All these logs are slippery. And then I'm sure the rungs on your ladder are slippery too, aren't they?
Yeah, it's gotta have a good grip.
Now you had told me you fell off this once, didn't you? Or you?
Well, I was coming down and I was leaning towards the passenger side, and my feet slipped out and my ribs hit that bar up there, and I'm pretty sure I cracked one or two of them. But it hurt.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was about 100. I was in Butler County, so it was 125 miles from getting home. That was a long ride.
Breathing is a good thing when you can do it, huh?
No sneezing or coughing.
Oh my. So we have a second load of logs coming in, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we got some weather coming in, so maybe you need to hit the road.
Yep.
And we'll stay here.
My reindeer if I have to.
I'll bring an umbrella out and make sure that I don't get wet. All right, so let's let Log Hauler Jesse go, and let's wait for him to come back with a second load. Here we go.
Round 2.
Off he goes. He's going to be picking up another load. The timber road is holding up, but it does have some issues here and there. I'm not going to get that far into depth with this road because there's other things in the works. But it's kicked up a lot of mud right there. Up here though, it's pretty nice. You know, I think this is about as good as you could have hoped for. But down through there, it's getting pretty soft. This area is where he is heading to, you know, what I always called the Moat, is pretty soft out through there. And that has been this land's biggest challenge, or this time of year with this weather. When the ground's frozen, everything's fine. But man, it just traps water in here. This has always been the way it's been as long as I've been out here. But I don't think anyone's ever thought about bringing in some 80,000 pound trucks bringing in logs, you know, and coming and going. I hope, I mean, the remedies that we made were cost effective for me, because, you know, I looked into everything, you know, having it dug out and gravel and stuff. It's just too expensive, especially for my goals of, you know, I don't want to be here forever. I don't want the business to be here forever. So that was an expedient fix. It was pretty cheap, and it's been effective because, you know, I'm still complaining about my logs, but man, I'm starting to get a lot of them. It's just a matter now of the weather agreeing and everything lining up so that I can get that made into firewood. All right, guys, we're gonna wait for the next load. I am going to stay underneath my umbrella simply because I don't want to get my camera wet, of course. Jesse, how are you?
Soggy.
Is this all seasons or all weather?
I started in construction years ago and I named it all seasons because I was willing to work in any season. I haven't got any brighter yet.
Yeah, I think so. I think with age, you should be figuring this out. You should be on your lazy boy right now.
No, not yet, but I'm on my way.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stay out of your way under this umbrella, just to keep the camera dry, of course.
Yeah,
and
I'll equipment dry.
Yeah, I'll let you get going here. So he is unstrapped, and he'll be heading up the muddy road to drop these logs off. But you know what a difference a year makes, guys. This was, there is no way this could have taken place last year. This road here, we dug it out. It was pretty cost effective. It allowed us to get clear of this area right by the house, which is super soft, and then out here onto the timbers, and it's still kicking up a lot of mud. Water continues to be a problem, but I did dig trenches on both sides. It's helping to clear the water. The road's been holding up surprisingly well. So let's head on back here. Man, is it wet. It just rains and rains and rains. I think I've said this before. The biggest blind spot that I had, it wasn't even a miscalculation. It was a blind spot. It was the weather. I really think if I could give anyone advice, what I have learned is if you are devising a plan for a business or a process, you know, we seem to wait for a beautiful day outside so we can go outside and think about it, you know, and make sure everything's going to be right. I think you got to go out on a day like today where it's just pouring down rain, and then see how the work area is and see how it responds to drainage and all, because this is just crazy rain. If you are in good shape after a big heavy rainstorm, then maybe you'll be in good shape for the rest of the year. I'll talk louder, but out here, you know, we're high and dry. It's nice. The road's staying together good. Jesse's putting on his your rain gear. I have my rain gear, guys. It's my umbrella. You want me to stand up there next to you and hold the umbrella over your head? I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Okay. We're moving out of the way. Look at this conditions, guys. This is mid-January, and it's 50 degrees and just pouring rain. Just warm. If you recall from our earlier delivery, he is going to move these logs over, and then he is going to, I asked him if he could lay this log on the live deck. So what Jesse's going to do, he is going to move the skidway towards us because it's too tight against the one before it. See how we're just getting all this figured out, guys. And that's what I would say about, you know, when you are trying to put together a plan, if you want to start a business or whatever, you know, you plan, but you don't allow yourself to get paralyzed by your analyzing, or what do they call that? Analysis paralysis. Just start doing it, you know, and then when there's a hiccup or something needs changing, you change it. And that's what we're doing here. Yeah. So he is going to lift this oak log onto the live deck, but he can't right now because he can't spin his crane all the way around. He has logs in the way, so he's going to unload these a little bit, and then he will move that log out of the way. That's called loghaulerjesse style points right there. But let's think about this for a second, guys. Let's take a look at loghaulerjesse up there. We're in a monsoon when, you know, a lot of construction sites don't come in for the day. Some do, some don't. This guy's outdoors, and here he is sitting up there in the rain. Look how that crane can just go all the way around like that. All right. And here's a big log that he's gonna set over here. I like it. In a perfect world, this is where, you know, the big logs would get set where the axis is, but we're laying these processing logs all the way up this road, so had we unloaded it down there, we'd have been in better shape, but this bay is open, so he's bringing them up here. So I'm watching these logs. I notice that they're smaller, they're skinny. There's some more style points for you. I see it's got some mud on them too, but he said that these had been pulled out and set. The machine that pulled them out wasn't dragging them, it had picked them up. But, you know, these logs get slippery when they're wet, and you see like that one that's leaned up against his truck right now. Those are the ones that bust out taillights and a dent, like you see he has a dent in his one fuel tank. That's what he had said, that you get that from hauling firewood. I had a comment about wanting to know if these were all hardwoods because someone saw some soft maple. And okay, so this is all definitional here. You can say what you want about poplar or silver maple, you know, that people would call soft maple. Soft maple is a term that I've learned with timber guys and sawmills that distinguish your different maples. There's like red and silver maple, I think, are considered soft, and then sugar maple is a hard maple. They're still maples, there's just some differences in the grain. Just because someone calls it soft maple, it doesn't mean it's soft wood. It is not, it is hardwood. The definition is, if a tree loses its leaves in the wintertime, it's a hardwood. If it's a conifer, you know, like a pine tree like you see in the background, or a spruce, that is a softwood. So within your hardwoods, you know, there's obviously different grades of hardness, or what we look for in firewood are BTUs. And silver maple is on the lower end of it. It's still an excellent firewood, and it has been my moneymaker. My restaurants love it. I love it because it's easy to work with, it dries fast, it's a good looking wood. I can get this into firewood quick, and I can turn it into a sail within months, you know, under the right weather conditions. So whenever you hear these terms, hardwood, softwood, soft maple, hard maple, just think of it like this. If the tree loses its leaves in the wintertime, or a deciduous tree, it is a hardwood. And then, you know, so there's really no debate on if it's a softwood or a hardwood. Now you can talk about, is it a wood that you desire? And, you know, a lot of people prefer their heavier hardwoods like oak and locust and Osage orange. But remember, in value-added firewood, the species to me is not that important because my customers don't use firewood for heat. I claim they use it for warmth. They're looking for ambiance. All right, so log hauler Jesse's coming down. Oh, wow, you're a little wet.
Dry on the inside.
Here, you hold the umbrella and I'll...
Put it on your head.
Jesse,
yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
You, I think what was important for the viewers is to see, yeah, this is a monsoon out here today. You should be in a lazy boy. You should be in a lazy boy right now, drinking your cocoa.
Pretty funny.
But here you are out here in the middle of the rain, huh?
Yeah, we need to get it done. So, and I had time today. That's how it works out.
That was good. And then I noticed, the logs obviously get slippery when it's raining outside.
Yeah.
And
there's some smaller ones. They were working today, but they weren't getting a lot done. I figured I'd have more to pick from when I got back there, but I didn't. So I just grabbed everything I could.
And these are the days that you're at a risk of smashing your truck more because the way the logs are sliding and all.
Just being that they're a little smaller, they can slip out when you're spinning.
Yeah. All right, guys, so it is pouring down the rain. We're going to get out of here and let log hauler Jesse get to someplace dry.
Yeah.
And everyone, if you got a question for him, put them in the comments down below. Okay, Jesse, you got anything you want to say?
Stay dry.
Yeah, words to live by. Have a great day.